Good morning. We begin with Unit 4, a truly beautiful mind from the main reader. I had done diary entry with you. Now we go with the pattern of one prose, one part of the literature and writing skill, part of the literature and writing skill that will balance out the issue. A truly beautiful mind. In this chapter, we want to know about the life of a genius. Now, who is a genius in the very first place? Must have heard about the word prodigies. A person with extra mind quality, in the capacity of the mind is beyond our imagination. It's said that humans use a very small part of their brain and most of it goes unused. Human brain is very, very powerful. Now, certain people, they have taken birth on this planet and have proven themselves to be separate from the crowd, and they bear the qualities which make them truly a genius. So in this chapter we'll be learning about Albert Einstein. Let's start the reading part of it. Who do you think of when you hear the word genius? Who is a genius? What qualities do you think a genius has? We shall now read about a young German civil servant who took the world by storm about 100 years ago. In the summer of 1905, the 26-year-old published in quick succession 4 groundbreaking papers about light, the motion of particles, the electrodynamics of moving bodies, and energy. His work took up only a few pages in scientific journals, but changed forever our understanding of space-time and the entire cosmos, and transformed the name Einstein into a synonym for genius. Now, these bulky words of the theories, what he explored, what he actually dealt with, the subjects, what he dealt with, his inventions, everything summarized to be called him as a genius. He owned that title. It was like you can give it to him as a mark of respect. Nobody did any favor on him by calling him a genius. But whatever theories he explored, you and I study these theories, you might find it boring because it's not of your interest. But for him, it was the most interesting thing in science. He was so fond of science. 50 years after his death, Albert Einstein's genius still reigns. So it continues, his legacy continues. The inventions what he made actually used by us in a very day-to-day life, and he continues to be remembered as a remarkable mind or a genius. So let's see right from childhood, what problems did he face, how did he go, how did he fight back, and what all did he do. Albert Einstein was born on 14 March 1879 in the German city of Ulm, without any indication that he was destined for greatness. Now, if somebody is a genius, he won't be coming with a birthmark on his body that I am a genius written on his body somewhere. So he had no sign of greatness, a common boy who was taken birth in a common family. On the contrary, his mother thought Albert was a freak. Now, who's a person freak? Who doesn't behave in a normal way? Usually when you find brainy people, those who really use their brains and they are into something different, there is something unique behavioral wise also. They don't mingle with the normal people. They have their own notions. Sometimes you see people talking to themselves also. They are like keeping on, their mind is a constant work, what they are trying to solve certain things. To her, his head seemed to be much too large. At the age of 2.5, Einstein still wasn't talking. 2.5 years and he did not speak a word. When he finally did learn to speak, he uttered everything twice. Einstein did not know what to do with other children and his playmates called him Brother Boring. So he was utterly confused as to what does he do with his playmates, the friends, and so was reciprocated by the friends. They called him Boring. So the youngster played by himself much of the time. So didn't have many of friends over there. So he played with himself. Now when you have an opportunity to play with yourself, you explore things. He especially loved mechanical toys. Typical boys will love mechanical things. Looking at the newborn sister Maja, he is said to have said, "Fine, but where are her wheels?" So he thought Maja was also a toy. He didn't even recognize that it was a human. So he was so engrossed in his own world over there, fancy world of mechanical toys, that he asked his mother, "Where are her wheels?" A headmaster once told his father that what Einstein chose as a profession wouldn't matter because he will never make success at anything. So even the teachers were not of the opinion that he had some kind of a special gift, because he did not portray in front of anybody that he was special. Even the teachers gave up on him, saying that no matter what he chooses as a profession or an occupation will not matter much because he's not going to get success. Einstein began learning to play the violin at the age of 6 because his mother wanted him to. He later became a gifted amateur violinist, maintaining this skill throughout his life. Now, who's an amateur? So, a person who takes it up as a hobby and doesn't take it up as a occupation. Like you don't learn to do something to earn money. So, it was his hobby. He played for himself, the violin. And never did he think of taking it up as a profession or earning money from it. But Albert Einstein was not a bad pupil. Pupil is a student, okay? He went to high school in Munich, where Einstein's family had moved when he was 15 months old. So they shifted from there and scored good marks in almost every subject. Einstein hated the school's regimentation and often clashed with his teachers. Now, regimentation is the strictness, or I would say the discipline and the order of a school. Certain schools are very rigid, very, very rigid. They're not flexible at all. So that rigidity and that compulsiveness, the compulsion what he was facing made him fight back against the teachers sometimes. At the age of 15, Einstein felt so stifled that he left the school for good. Now he was not even able to breathe. He was unable to breathe over there because of the strictness or discipline which was being followed by the school. So he left the school at the age of 15. The previous year, Albert's parents had moved to Milan and left their son with the relatives. After prolonged discussion, Einstein got his wish to continue his education in German-speaking Switzerland, in a city which was more liberal than Munich. So he went to a city which was not as stiff or rigid as Munich. So he found there a little bit of freedom to do what he could do. Einstein was highly gifted in mathematics and interested in physics. And after finishing school, he decided to study at a university in Zurich. But science wasn't the only thing that appealed to the dashing young man with the walrus moustache. If you see that, look at Albert's and Einstein's photo has been given, sketch has been given of his. So you can see his typical moustache is very bushy, very thick, and it's kind of a curly kind of a thing. We call it a walrus moustache. He also felt a special interest in a fellow student, Mileva Merrick, whom he found to be a clever creature. This young Serb had come to Switzerland because the university in Zurich was one of the few in Europe where women could get degrees. Now he found a fancy in a lady. He thought he was of the impression that she's very clever, and she had come to Zurich because the universities over there allowed the women to take degrees. Okay, Einstein saw in her an ally against the Philistines those people in his family and at the university with whom he was constantly at odds. Now when you have a very focused mind, you will have very few allies, very few friends. So when he had problems with the Philistines, he had problem with his family, he has problem with the university people, he was gelling along with this lady. Now the reason is very obvious, right? He loved her. So the couple fell in love. Letters survive in which they put their affection into words, mixing science with tenderness. Now both were brainy, both loved each other. But a typical brainy creature, now over here, if you bring in science and love letters together, it would be very funny for you and me. But because their brains were very developed and they were very brainy, so they even used to write love letters in the scientific terms. Wrote Einstein, "How happy and proud I shall be when we both have brought our work on relativity to a victorious conclusion." So there's a pun on the word over here. Relativity can be related to physics also, and relativity can be the feeling amongst these two souls. So he wrote in a scientific language the love letter. In 1900, at the age of 21, Albert Einstein was a university graduate and unemployed. He did not get a job. He worked as a teaching assistant, gave private lessons, and finally secured a job in 1902 as a technical expert in the patent office in Bern. Bern is a city in Switzerland. So he did not get a job in the very first place when he had graduated. Later he did many odd jobs over there, giving classes and also teaching assistant. He had become private lessons he was giving. Finally he got a job in a patent office. What's a patent office? Patent office is the office where if you make something, if you invent something, then that particular thing which has been invented to you will be given the rights of the invention and nobody else will be able to copy it. Einstein was actually developing his own ideas in secret. When he reached that office, he got a platform where he could bring into action what inventions were there, all captivated in his mind. Though not in a real sense he was inventing, but those who came to him for help, he aided them. So he is said to have jokingly called his desk drawer at work the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. So why does he call it the Bureau of Theoretical Physics? Is that whoever came to him, he helped them out. And actually indirectly, whatever work was being done by them were his ideas. He was actually inventing indirectly the things which under their name they were inventing, but those were his ideas and his advices which were working. That's why he called it his desk as the Bureau of Theoretical Physics. And then we'll continue the lecture in the next part of my teaching. That time we'll finish it off and then you will do the question answers of it later. Thank you.